Yeah, Roger, on that, Garrett. Well, nice to hear you, and thank you for calling me. And I think the last time was, what I think maybe it was a Sunday or something like that. But your voice, it's always very clear. You know, you sound like the VRT. Over.
Okay, the VRT. Okay, right, thank you. Oh, I'm a little bit disappointed. I told you we'll say BBC quality, over.
Yeah, Roger, BBC, Voice of America, Radio Australia, maybe one of the Irish channels, over.
Okay, Roger. Okay, you're also doing a great job with the Apache Labs. The radio sounds wonderful. Here I listen about 5 kc wide and it sounds wonderful. So I just hear your working conditions about the antenna. I just made today a delta loop antenna, monoband delta loop. Delta loop antenna. Now I feed it horizontally, so on the base of the antenna, so for end-based signal. So it seems to be working not so bad at all, over.
No, it's working very well. 35 over here. And yeah, well, I've been messing around with, and I tell you, I think that's it with those antennas. I've been messing around with fan dipoles, but I think I'm going to abandon that. In fact, I have abandoned it, over.
Okay, Roger. Well, I have done a few tests the last week. I'm at home. I'm on vacation as well. Before I got the dipole, monoband dipole, and monoband dipole for 40 meters, but I'm obliged to put them both in the same direction. So I thought by myself, I give it a try with the offset fed window. I made a window antenna, but I saw the QRM was higher on the window and on the window antenna than I have on the dipole before. So now I made the delta loop, and I almost have nothing from QRM here on this moment. Yes, of course the QRM from the stations and on frequency, but a very low noise level I have now with the delta loop, and the signals are very strong, so it seems to be working okay. And on the top, over the top of the delta loop, I've mounted an inverted V for 80 meters. So I made the same measure. I take the same dipole I've got before for 80 meter, and I thought it would maybe give some reflections on the dipole, on the delta loop, but SWF seems to be okay. John, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, anyway, what you're using now, the delta loop, it's a great signal. Now, about excuse me, about 4 years ago, I had 2 delta loops for 40 meters in phase, but they are very big in my small garden, over.
Yeah, well, what's the distance between the 2 delta loops?
Yeah, that was like a quarter wave, over.
Okay, Roger, so 10 meter apart. So, but I put them on the tower, so the apex of the triangle is on 18, 19 meter high, so the lowest points of the antenna, it must be something like 3-4 meter over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, when my one was up, the lowest, it was 3 meters above the ground, and then it went up on a pole. I think it was up about 15 meters. There was 2 of them, and I could switch back and forth. But I'm guilty of sometimes not giving the antenna too much time, and if I don't like it, I just take it down. So, and they were very big, but I'm just thinking because I was playing around in the garden over the week, even in the bad weather, you know, with all that mist and that mutt regen. Well, anyway, I was trying out a fan dipole with the apex at 16 meters and one leg going to 22 meters, but very, very messy with the wires hanging down and the whole lot. So I've given up that, and I'll go back to my my dipole for 80 meters, and then on this one I'm using a double bazooka for 40, over.
Okay, Roger, do you have I never worked with a double bazooka. I know it's made from coax, What's the advantage about the double bazooka and a normal dipole? Over.
Well, they say that the double bazooka is more broadbanded. Over.
Okay, Roger, but otherwise no difference. Over.
No difference, and they are heavier. The dipole for 80 meters is made out of from the British Army, that telephone wire. It's called D10, and it's very strong. Are you familiar with that wire? Over.
No, negative. I'm always using a VOBST cable wire here. Over.
Yeah, Roger. And is that one strand? Well, it's one strand, no stranding. Over.
It's isolated. That's isolated. And for the one for the dipole for the 80 meter, I made it on 2.5 over.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, and just out of curiosity, when you had that, and you still have it, I think the 80 meter dipole, did you use a 1-to-1 balun? Over.
Yeah, okay, Roger. I have a few balloons here from Oscar November 7, Fox Uniform 3 KW balloons here. Over.
Yeah, well, funny you should say that. I was given a present of one yesterday by Oscar November 8 Bravo Echo Benny, and Benny was telling me that he has a mobile phone mast with a hazer, but he's selling up. Over.
Okay, Roger. Yes, I know the call, Benny, but I don't know the guy personality, John. But the only thing we have with the balloons from 7FU, they are very, very heavy. Over.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And when you have it up, I don't know if you have it up. I have mine on a. Well, I'm going to put it up, but they are very, very heavy. And the only thing, and maybe the one I have from Benny from yesterday is old, but there's no screw holes on the right and left side. So I'm going to put it on a chopping board. Over.
Okay, Roger. And there is I don't know. It's in the tube form, or it's already a rectangle bulk balloon.
Yeah, it's the box version. Over.
Okay, Roger. I still have a few old ones from Hugo in the tube form as well, but the others I have now the box form. On the upper side, in the middle, there is a hole. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I have one also from a guy in fact, I have two of them from a guy in France. I think his I have no idea what his call sign is, but his name is Chocket, Charlie Hotel Oscar, and then there's a space, Kilo India Tango, and his ones have holes on the right and the left, so you can connect it better to something. It's more stable, but the one from from Fox Uniform is very heavy. Over.
Okay, Roger. Yes, and I have a few. They are filled up, and I have a few empty. So the balloons we have, they are not filled up. We are use them for field day. But here the mast is heavy duty here, so we may pull on we may pull on some white. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, Benny is building me another mast. I think it's going to be one of his last masts. And this is a mast. It's a, it's a it's a lightweight mast, but I have some plans for it. I have in the garden a Sirio for 10 meters, 4-meter boom, and I'm going to make it 8-meter boom. Instead of 4 elements, I'm going to have 5. So that's the first thing that I'm going to put up on that mast that Benny is building. Over.
It's a 10-meter beam, oh.
Yeah, Roger. 10 meter beam, and the beauty of it, if I don't like it, I can just drop it down. And the other thing I was thinking of putting up was a rotating dipole for 40 meters. Over.
Okay, Roger. That's the next thing I will be doing. I have here a full-size 40-meter dipole we've made many years ago, and we used them already in the field day. But now with the new regulation they've made, you only may go 15 meter high. So we haven't used it last years. So otherwise we put it on elevator, a tower elevator at 30 meter high, and it's working very well over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'll get mine up to about 15 meters, but 30 meters would be nice. I'm in this house since '96, but if I had my time again, I would have put up a in the middle of the garden the tower with the elevator. But it's too busy now in the garden. Over.
Okay, Roger. Yes, sometimes we must have some time. And always there is another problem from time to time. The weather, certainly here into Belgium, we don't have such a good weather. Certainly last year we have a lot of rain, so it wasn't so easy to work outside the door, John. But let's say about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit earlier, I've made a foursquare with slooping dipoles for 40 meter, and that was working also very well over.
Yeah, Roger. Oscar November 7 USB ON80I for ID. Yeah, that's very interesting. And I also built a foursquare maybe 4 years ago, something like that. But I could only for 40 meters, but the distance was 1/8. It was 1/8 wavelength. And the switching system that you had, which one did you have, or was it homebrew? Over.
Okay, it was all homebrew, but it went not verticals. It were dipoles, a slooping dipole array. So where the coax must be cut on the good length, and you can find all the details on the low band DX book, I think, for ON7USB. And I've made that a few years ago. So it was, and the advantage it has a very, very good front to back over.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember beaming towards the States, and the European stations were disappearing. Over.
Okay, Roger, that's a big advantage. A few years ago, 10 years ago, when I had some time during the winter, maybe when I am retired, we will put some other beverages like I've done many years ago, and it was always a pleasure to work some DX. Certainly, I got one stateside. He was 300 meter long over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I was talking a few days, well, maybe 2 weeks ago, to a guy in Oklahoma, and he gave up with the mast and the beam, and he put up a vertical with 4 beverages, all going in the different directions. So he put a lot of power into the vertical, and he listened on the beverages, and he had great results. It's amazing what you can hear with the beverages. There's a guy in Ireland, and I saw some video clips that he made, and he has a big beam for 40 meters, but lots of stations he couldn't hear them on the beam, but he could hear them on the beverage. They just it's an amazing system. And I was watching a video yesterday, and a guy he had a beverage, but it was not the typical beverage. It was the BOG, the beverage on the ground. Over.
Okay, Roger. Yes, the bulk antenna. I never have tried it, the bulk antenna, but it must be working also. But I have during the winter here, the land from the farmer here after my door. I may use it. So, but it's not. How must I tell you? I don't have to take the effort to put on all the antennas when I'm not home during the winter. So maybe when I'm retired, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, if all goes well, I've got another 4 years. So what about yourself, over?
It's about the same here on this end. I'm from 65, over.
Yeah, and I'm from 64, over.
Okay, Roger, yeah, so yes, 4 or 5 years. When we are still alive and kicking, John, over.
Yeah, well, you never know. I always joke with them, and maybe it's not a joke. I said, maybe you'll take me out of my workplace in a box, over.
Okay, Roger. Last year we got something. A guy on my work, he was going retired. The last of December and the 6th of January, he was dead, over.
Yeah, well, those are the type of people that the government love, over.
That for sure. That for sure. Always paid for our pension, but they have never to pay an euro of them. That's for sure. Sometimes you're picking also 30 dB over the S9, John, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you went up there to 45, so it's terrific. Yeah, I'm using a solid state amplifier. It's one made in VK, over.
It's doing a great job. I'm using the OM power here, the 2000 plus here, but I'm just running, and the peaks I see a 500 watts now, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at here. I've got the peaks are probably about. Yeah, it's amazing that the amp says 400, but I'm looking at the power meter and it says something like. Yeah, 165, 180, something like that. So hang on, let me just see if I can change the mode. No, that does nothing. Yeah, it's yeah. I think the amp shows more power than the than what the power meter is saying, over.
Okay, Roger. That's from time to. It's always difficult to measure also a power. An average or a PEP makes a big difference, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at, yeah, it's a LP 100. But anyway, I have another power meter on the other radio. I think the last time I spoke with you, by the way, Geert, was on the Hermes Lite. So today it's the Apache Labs, the 7000, over.
Okay, Roger, I haven't noted, but you sound wonderful, and it's here is still with the Kenwood TS890 with the dynamic microphone on it from Behringer, a $40 microphone, who goes to the what's the thing here? It's a 10-band equalizer, compressor, noise gate from United Radio 6 Quebec Whiskey.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. Well, and you also have the good voice that matches it. Okay, Geert, I'm it's well, you know the time in Belgium, but I'm and the days are getting longer. I can even see it, even though it's only a few days after the 21st. I'm just going to tidy up. I was out the whole morning working with antennas, and I got the call for lunch. But I was happy that I had my 40-meter antenna back up in the air because, that fan dipole, it wasn't a success. So the next thing now tomorrow, maybe I'll put up the 80-meter dipole using with the Fox uniform balun, over.
Okay, Roger, yes, that we're working very, very, very well, John. Also the same here. Always stayed the whole day outside to work on the antenna. So, but it seems to be I'm a little bit satisfied about certainly the SWR is almost flat now I have my dip on this frequency 7.120 it was, so I don't change it anymore. I was just wondering. To make the stub, the quarter wave stub 75 ohm coax, some guys on the internet tell me we have to take 306.3 divide by the frequency for make the quarter wave. And normally I'm using always 300 divide by the frequency. I've taken the two measures and I've taken between. So one measure was telling me 866 meter of 75 ohm coax. A 1 quarter wave multiplied with the velocity of the coax, and the other measure was 8 meter 84 centimeters. So I have taken 8 meter 70, and it seems to be working, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I do something different. I just go online to and I try one or two of the online calculators. Over.
Oh, okay, Roger. Well, they're using about the same formula, I think. So if before I was always taking 300 to make to take lambda. So in the time I've learned it was 300 to divide by the frequency in megahertz to have lambda, and then 1/4 wave multiplied with the velocity of this type of coax I had here was from the velocity was 0.82 I found on the internet. So and it seems to be working, and the advantage I have a coax switch on the tower there. So with my 8 meters 70, I can go directly with the 75 ohm coax into the antenna switch. Over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just in regard to the delta loop, I think you said, is it in a vertical configuration? Over.
No, negative. No, it's feeded on the base of the antenna in the middle, so horizontally polarized. So when I have some time and the weather seems to be okay, I will make also a feed point on the diagonal leg on 1/4 wave. I think from the top it must be something like that. And then I will make a switch with two relais, with 2 steps, of course, so I can close them one or other and take the other coax, so I can switch the horizontal or very vertical over.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of that. Yeah, the ones that I had up 4 years ago, they were all just on the side. And if my memory serves me, that was horizontal. Okay, Gert, we'll talk another time. I'll just come back in one moment. One moment, I'll be back. Yeah, darling. Yes.
Unit station, I'll come over the tree charges on
the frequency, the news, please, the frequency. Okay, John, I don't know if you're already back, so I think you have to go QRT over.
Yes, I am back. No, the lady of the house, she's going out with her pals, and she was just shouting from the whole door to say that she was going. So I can never ignore her. Over.
No, okay, that's for sure. I have the same here, but I don't have so many time either. I have to take a shower. I have to go this evening to Bruges with all the kids. We're gonna go on restaurant every year. We do that all together, and it's the lady in the house who pays, so we must go with. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, the lady of the house there, she has access to all my money, but no problem. Well, have a nice time, have a great time, have a safe time when you think of those 2 girls on the step on Thursday. Over.
Yeah, okay, Roger. I don't know, it was an accident or something?
Yeah, there was 2 girls. I think one was 18, one was 19. They had been to the jumping at Mechelen. And well, it's always bad for 2 people to be on a step. But a guy came along and too fast, and he drove over them and killed one, and one is serious. And then he went further, and I think he came home and then went out again, and then he took his own life. Over.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it. So okay, it's a tragedy. So. Yes, and we can say steps are very dangerous, but if the guy with the car driving too fast, so that's always, like you say, a misery. Okay, I'll let you go, John. Me a pleasure to talk to you again, one of the last days of the year. I will say, if I don't hear you anymore before 2025, I wish you a happy 2025 to you and the family with a good health, and we're looking forward surely to meet you again. All the very best here from Hullam. Oscar November 8, Echo India. Oscar November 7, Uniform Sierra Bravo. Over.
Yeah, Roger on that, Gert. Well, thank you for calling me, and it's always a pleasure speaking with you. And by the way, if you're ever passing in Ham, you're always welcome. Over.
Okay, the same if you're here on this side. If you're going to friends or something, I live only about 15 kilometers from Lille here, so not so far away. Me a pleasure. All the best, John. ON8 Echo India, ON7 USB 73. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, Gert. We'll talk soon. ON7 USB, ON80I now closing down. Bye-bye from the village of Ham. Bye-bye, Gert. Take care.
Bye-bye.